What's up, everybody? My name's Thomas with World Animal Foundation. Today, I'm going to be talking a little bit about anxiety with Doberman. If you own Dobermans all your life, I'm pretty sure you probably dealt with this at one time or another. But some of the things I'm going to talk about today really apply to all dog owners. It's not just specific to Doberman. So if you're interested in, trying to handle this, a high stress, high anxiety dog, I've got a lot of experience in this area, especially with my female Doberman, Athena. So that's what we're going to talk about today. That's what I'm going to break down. And like I said, it applies to more than just one type of dog owner. So if you're interested and you want to figure out some ways to deal with it, pay attention. Now, as far as the causes, some of these things are specific to Doberman, some of them are not. Dobermans are highly intelligent dogs, and they are also very energetic dogs. So lacking one or the other or both is extremely detrimental to them, and it can cause a lot of anxiety. With Athena specifically, my dog, it was probably being separated from her mother too early. So if you're thinking about adopting a Doberman or you're buying from a breeder, do not, allow the puppy enough time with its mother before you separate it, because that's definitely was the issue with her. Sudden changes in routine. Dobermans are good at routine. They like routine. If there's a sudden change in it or sudden changes in diet, things of that nature, they're more likely to get anxious or be highly stressed. Excessive whining, barking, moving around a lot, a general just inability to sit still could be a sign of anxiety. And it's not prevalent in Dobermans. It's not prevalent in a lot of dogs, really, but those are some of the underlying causes. And if any of these things has kind of happened in your life, such as a sudden change or even a sudden change in your attitude, that could definitely cause it, because Dobermans are very attached to their owners. They love their owners, and they are almost psychic when it comes to how you feel and how you're thinking. That will often affect them as well. Now, as far as some of the ways you can reduce anxiety in your Doberman, one of the biggest factors that you can do is create kind of a safe space for them. Like I said earlier, Dobermans really appreciate routine. If they have a routine spot that they can go to that's just kind of away from it all, and you let it be known to them that this is their spot, like my dogs have a bed in the corner in the den, and it's usually real quiet in the den because it's just me working. That's an excellent trick to try with them. It often works out. It often works wonders, believe it or not. Regular exercise is a must for Doberman pinschers. These are highly active dogs. They're very energetic. They're sleek. They're refined. They're muscular. They've got to work themselves. They got to get out. They got to do stuff, whether it's morning jogs, afternoon walks, whatever. If you have multiple Dobermans, or if you have Doberman with a bunch of dogs and they like to play, let them get outside, let them play as much as possible. That energy needs to be channeled somewhere. You'll be amazed at how effective that is in reducing their overall stress, especially in the short term. If you're looking for a quick solution, definitely get that Doberman outside. Go play with it. If you live in a small apartment or something, you got to put them on a leash, and you got to go out there with them and, live a more active lifestyle. The more active you are, the better it is for you anyway, and definitely is more better for your dog's mental health. Menthol stimulation with Doberman pinschers is a must. The AKC often lists these dogs as in the top 5 dogs in the world as far as intelligence. They have got to have something to focus on. They've got to have some sort of training that gets them thinking, gets those gears turning up inside their head. The anxiety probably plays off that a lot because, if you're not teaching your dog anything, if you're living a rather sedentary lifestyle and your Doberman's just laying around all day, they're not getting any kind of mental stimulation or exercise, it's definitely going to have an impact on their mental well-being. That's just a natural consequence of that. These are not the types of dogs that lay around the house all day. These dogs like to get out. They like to do stuff. They like to explore. They're highly intelligent. They will challenge you as you try to train them. So it can be a bit of a challenge for you and the Doberman as well. Even though they're highly intelligent, they'll often use that intelligence against you. Sometimes it's very irritating, but routine, repetition, those are key. Spend some time with your dog, work on mental exercises. Just start with the basics: sit, give me 5, lay down, spin around, stuff like that. It's great, and it works wonders. And as you go, you can make it more and more complex. You can take it as far as you want to, really. You can train a Doberman to go get you a drink out of the fridge. It'll take time, but it'll be an excellent mental exercise for them as y'all work your way through it. Positive reinforcement training is a big factor. You never want to work your Doberman with negative reinforcement training. And what I mean by that is things like shock collars. A lot of people believe in them, don't know why. But you'll notice if you use something like that, it will actually make things worse. You don't want your Doberman negatively associating, you don't want him negatively associating certain objects or things, in that way. It will definitely drive their anxiety up, especially if they're already dealing with anxiety issues. You start using a shock collar, they'll start, doing things like randomly urinating in the house, or when you go to touch them, they'll urinate. Just bad news all around. You want to use positive reinforcement techniques. You don't have to give them treats after every little thing they do. In fact, that's probably very unhealthy. But you do want to reinforce the idea that there is a reward for good behavior, or a reward for completing an exercise, or a little training technique that you're teaching them. Those rewards are valuable. It gets them to associate what they're doing, what they're learning, and, their more active lifestyle with a reward factor. So obviously those things in the future will make them happy on their own, even without the treats. Now, I'm sure you'll read about all kinds of different calming techniques online and stuff. With Dobermans, there's a reason they call them Velcro dogs. They like to stick next to their owner. Often they will just kind of sort of sit on your leg while you're standing. It's really weird. You won't understand it until you actually see it. But they Velcro themselves to you, because most of the time, all a Doberman needs is touch. That's it. If you just sit there and chill and put your hand on your Doberman's head or something, they're completely fine with that. That will absolutely make their day. Or you can just sit there and, rub their head, pet them. You can play soft music, things of that nature. But I've often found personally that just petting them, paying a little attention to them, or when you're like watching a movie or something, you let your Doberman sit next to you, put an arm on him, he'll be good to go. He'll absolutely love that. I use 4Health. It's a calming aid. No, I'm not marketing it. We're not selling this. This is just something that I use. It's a calming aid with chamomile. It's effective on Athena. It calms her down, especially in the evenings, or if there's a lot of stuff going on outside, like July 4th fireworks, stuff like that. Maybe something worth considering as well. And look, if all else fails and nothing you do is working, your last, ditch effort, whatever, your worst case scenario, go talk to your vet. Don't ever discount your vet. If you can't afford a vet or anything, you definitely need to set aside money, and you probably shouldn't even have a Doberman if you can't afford a vet, because they're going to need a vet at some point. But they do have, dog behavior specialists that you can see, and a lot of veterinarians just, on their own, not even necessarily specializing in that, can tell you some of the things that you can do to work with your Doberman to relieve anxiety, and they may even prescribe your Doberman some medications. Like I said, a lot of this applies to Dobermans, but not all of it applies to Dobermans. There are other dogs out there that, go through the same things, and a lot of the solutions to this are also solutions to that. So if you need to check with your veterinarian, don't hesitate. Do it. Well, there you have it, folks. I'm back outside with my Dobermans, giving them a little bit of playtime, get some of that energy out. Think back on some of these different topics that we discussed, like working on their mental stimulation, trying to reduce that anxiety through physical training, or kind of like I guess you call it a rehabilitation training, trying to get them, break them out of that, the anxiety hole that they have on them. These are some really good tips and tricks to follow. A lot of them worked well for my Athena, especially the calming tablets that I showed you earlier. Those have been really effective as well. With all that being said, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. We've got plenty more content on the way, and those likes and subscriptions really help the channel out. Also, feel free to comment. I always try to get down there and answer any comments, questions, and concerns you have. That's just a thing of mine. I like to be able to interact with everybody, especially, because I feel like I'm talking to you through this camera. So that's what I want to do. I want to interact. I want to learn more myself. So if you've got any interesting anxiety stories or tips with your Doberman or just with your dog in general, let us know. Be sure to get down there and comment. And like I said, do my best, get on there and answer it. That being said, again, everybody have a fantastic day, and thanks for watching.